it's possible to the lab manual for the sake of doing
Sure.
the activity. Do you have any question from this part before I close it?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Right. You noticed that we were at the course. Let's go to the curriculum. Over here you have the CompTIA A plus mapping, and shortly when I start the course introduction, CompTIA A plus, as I said, is an international association, non-profit or association. They decided, some engineers, they decided, and professors from academic settings and firms, they decided to set a standard for a certificate. This certificate will show that the students, they are from information technology background. So it's a kind of certificate that will be standards for certificate that will be given to those who they want to show other companies that, hey guys, we have the skills, we have the knowledge, and this is the proof of our knowledge. Later on,
Sure.
they published that standards and the strands, which we call it mapping, to many different companies like and universities like the Cambridge, like Cisco, like Microsoft, and each of them, they have developed their own curriculum but using the same mapping, the same titles. Cisco was one of them, and Cisco was the winner for the best quality curriculum. That's mean in the
Okay.
market you'll find different curriculum for the sake of A+. Now, if we finish over here, you'll get the certificate for IT Essential PC software and hardware from Cisco. But you will be eligible for doing the online assessment for the CompTIA A+. It's a good certificate. Those who they are targeting the industry and going for companies to work, they will go for CompTIA A+, and I will explain a little bit more in details about this shortly.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go back to the instructor home. So the other place that we can get the resource, the other place that we need to access and talk about today over here is your class itself. I need to show you how to access your class, how to access your gradebook, how to read your gradebook, how to see your mistakes. So let's start with the you are not going to see, by the way, everything I'm seeing over here. Since I'm an instructor, I can see the roster, but later on, once you create your own class, you are going to see these resources. Let's go to the assessment home. Assessment home, it is the place where I activate for you the assessment, and you are going to access the assessment home in the future to activate your students' assessment. If I click on activate assessments, I'm free here to choose the assessment I wish to activate for my students. But the final assessment, it's called single activation. You can only activate one assessment at a time. But over here, we can activate several assessments at a time, okay? Or we can activate only one assessment at a time. Okay, let's say for example I wish to activate chapter 1 exam. I have option over here either to assign the assessment for you to be done from home, like the case over here. So our assessment is going to be an open book, but the final one, it's going to be closed book. You see over here we have two finals. We have the final, which is from 1 to 10. This final from 1 to 10 is essential, it's mandatory for obtaining the certificate and finishing the course. But we have a second final, which is from 11 to 16. I'm free to assign it as a mandatory or as an optional. I usually give this one, and this one, these assessments as a bonus assessment. For those who they wish to have a bonus grade, let's say that they had a problem and they missed 1 point, and that they needed that 1 point to pass the course, where the passing score is 75. There is no specific passing score by Cisco like You are as instructor and you define the rule. And our rules over here that you have to have in all of the assessments above 75. I might tolerate that one or two assessments that are below 75, that's fine. But most of the assessments, all of them, they have to be above 75. If you score below 75, you have the chance to repeat it. I will let you do 3 to 4 retakes. Okay? Any assessment that you wish to retake, I will let you do this. See, I can do all this from, I'll show you the place how to do that, but I am as an instructor, I'm defining the rules for my class. You are going to do the same for your class. We'll qualify you, we'll train you, professional training, and we will trust you over there for your student. Whenever you need any assistance with that, you can refer back to me. As I said, I wish to activate chapter 1, which is going to be an open book, and it's not going to be from a restricted place. So I'm gonna choose the second option. This assessment will be administered in less secure environment. Now I don't choose activate now, because activate now it will take me to the system default, and I haven't defined the system default. I have to define the system default. But before defining it, like if I go to advanced activation, let's see what options we can see over here. All the assessments, without any exception, except for the final one, they can be activated as a maximum to 7 days. 0 hours. 7 days is the maximum. Before you activate it, there is something called exam settings. This one shows how many attempts you are allowed to do and whether I need to approve that attempts for you or not. If I check this box, okay, that's mean you need to come back to me before you see your next attempt or your second attempt. If I keep it open, okay, that's mean I don't need to approve this. You can go ahead, do it by yourself on your own. Okay, later on it will be recorded in your record that you attempted this assessment twice or once, etc. Now what do we see over here? By default, the system is going to assign 1 hour for each of the assessment. We have 20 questions in each of the assessments. Those questions, they are comprehensive, except for the final. We have 50 final and practice final. We have 50 questions each. Over here, there is something called personalized feedback. It is the place where you can, it shows you where they got the questions from, but display item information. Over here you can view your mistakes by yourself. You can see the question, you can see your answer, and you can see your mistake. Okay, now I will make it 1 hour and 15 minutes for each of you guys. Once I click on activate, the assessment is activated over there. I'll try right now to access the assessment in front of you. I'll show you to have a sense of the assessment.
Sure.
I'll go back to the to my class name, and once I choose take assessment, you see over here, by the way, I went to the wrong class, but anyways, it's the same thing. Okay, it's IT Essential as well. Over here, I choose my assessment, and later on, I choose I select how many questions you want per page. I always choose 15. That's better to not have errors navigating between pages, and I prefer to have most of the questions in one page. I click next, and once I start begin assessment, that's it. Oops, it is inactive for me.
Activation expired.
Let me choose the class that I have just activated. Take assessment. there is something over here. As far as I remember, we did activate only